Have you ever been jolted awake on a summer morning by a bird singing outside your window and wondered why it sounds like every bird in the neighborhood decided to start a concert before sunrise? Maybe you have stepped outside at dawn and noticed that the air seemed alive with calls, whistles, trills, and songs, only to find that a few hours later much of that chorus had faded away. If you have ever wondered why birds seem most vocal around 5 in the morning, especially in summer, the answer reveals an extraordinary hidden world that unfolds while most of us are still asleep. The first thing to understand is that birds are not simply waking up and making noise because they feel like it. Those songs serve a purpose. In fact, for many birds, singing is one of the most important things they do all day. When a male robin perches on a fence before sunrise and begins singing, he is sending messages. He is telling other males that this territory is already occupied. At the same time, he is advertising himself to nearby females. His song is both a warning sign and an introduction. Many other species do exactly the same thing. Sparrows, warblers, blackbirds, thrushes, and countless others use song as a kind of living announcement broadcast across the landscape. But that still leaves a question. Why so early? The answer begins with a phenomenon scientists call the dawn chorus. This is the burst of birdsong that occurs around sunrise and reaches its peak during the early morning hours. For generations, people simply enjoyed the sound. Researchers eventually began studying it and discovered that dawn offers birds a unique opportunity that does not exist at any other time of day. The world is quieter. Before sunrise, there are fewer competing sounds. Traffic is lighter. Human activity is minimal. Wind is often calmer. The atmosphere itself can carry sound more efficiently in the cool, still air of early morning. Imagine standing in your backyard at midday. Lawnmowers are running, cars are passing, children are playing, the air is moving. Sound becomes scattered among countless distractions. Now imagine that same yard at 5 in the morning. The streets are nearly empty, the air feels still, every sound seems sharper. A bird singing from a tree can be heard much farther away. For a bird trying to communicate across a territory, this is the perfect moment to speak, yet the quiet atmosphere is only part of the story. Birds also face an energy puzzle every single day. During the night, they cannot easily search for food. They spend hours resting while their bodies continue using energy. By dawn, many birds are hungry. You might assume they would immediately begin looking for breakfast. Surprisingly, many species do the opposite. They sing first. Researchers believe one reason is that early morning light is often too dim for efficient feeding. A small insect hidden beneath leaves is difficult to spot before the sun rises higher. Instead of wasting energy searching in poor light, birds use that time for communication. A male songbird can sit on a visible perch and broadcast his presence while waiting for conditions to improve. You can picture a robin standing on a rooftop before sunrise. The lawn below may contain plenty of worms, but it is still too dark to forage effectively. So the robin sings. By the time the light strengthens, he has already defended his territory and advertised his fitness. That idea leads to another fascinating detail. Singing is hard work. To us, a bird song sounds effortless. Yet producing those long, complex sequences requires energy and physical condition. In many species, the strongest, healthiest males often sing the most vigorously. This means a beautiful dawn song can function as a demonstration of quality. Think of it this way. A bird that survived the night and still has enough energy to sing loudly for long periods is showing evidence of good health. Nearby females may use that information when choosing mates. A female listening from a nearby tree is not simply hearing pleasant music. She is gathering clues about strength, stamina, and survival ability. The dawn chorus, therefore, becomes something like a giant neighborhood audition where every singer is trying to prove something. Summer makes this even more intense. During spring and early summer, birds enter their breeding season. This is the period when finding mates, defending territories, and raising young become the central focus of life. Hormones rise, competition increases, communication becomes more important than ever. A male cardinal that might remain relatively quiet during winter suddenly becomes far more vocal as breeding season arrives. The same is true for many other songbirds. By summer mornings, entire communities of birds are actively involved in these daily conversations. This is why a June sunrise often sounds dramatically different from a December sunrise. In winter, many birds are focused primarily on survival. Conserving energy becomes essential. Singing decreases because the urgency of attracting mates and defending breeding territories largely disappears. Summer changes everything. Longer daylight hours also play a role. Birds respond strongly to changing day length. As days become longer, their bodies receive signals that trigger breeding behavior. The early morning songs you hear are connected to ancient biological rhythms shaped over thousands of generations. Each sunrise acts like a signal telling birds that conditions are favorable for nesting, raising chicks, and continuing the cycle of life. There is another reason dawn singing works so well. Predators are often less active during those first moments of daylight. A bird singing from an exposed perch always takes some risk. Making noise can attract unwanted attention. But at dawn, the balance often shifts in favor of communication. The bird gains maximum broadcasting power while facing relatively manageable risks. Nature is full of these trade-offs. Animals constantly weigh costs against benefits. For many birds, dawn provides the best compromise. Interestingly, not all birds join the chorus at exactly the same time. Scientists studying dawn choruses have noticed that different species often begin singing in a predictable order. Some start while the sky is still quite dark. Others wait until more light appears. Factors such as eye size, feeding habits, and behavior patterns may influence when each species begins. If you were able to stand quietly in a forest before sunrise and listen carefully, you might notice one species starting first. Then another joins, then another. Gradually, the entire soundscape builds layer by layer. It is almost like an orchestra tuning up before a performance. The remarkable thing is that no conductor exists. Each bird follows instincts shaped by evolution, yet together they create one of the most beautiful natural events on Earth. Perhaps the most surprising aspect of all is how much information is contained within those songs. To human ears, a bird song may sound simple. To another bird, it can communicate identity, location, fitness, territory, ownership, and even individual recognition. Some birds can recognize specific neighbors by voice alone. Imagine hearing a song from a distant tree and instantly knowing exactly which individual is singing. Many birds appear capable of doing something very similar. Their morning chorus is not random noise. It is a network of conversations happening all around us. And most of us sleep through much of it. If you enjoy discovering hidden stories like this one and seeing familiar wildlife in a completely new way, consider subscribing to Global Wild Origins. Every week we explore the remarkable lives unfolding quietly around us, often in places we pass every day without noticing. Once you start paying attention, the dawn chorus begins to feel different. The next time you hear birds singing at 5 in the morning, you may realize you are listening to more than sound. You are hearing territory boundaries being reinforced, courtship displays being performed, rivals being challenged, partners being attracted. Entire communities announcing another day of life. A single backyard can suddenly become a stage filled with invisible dramas. The robin on the rooftop is not singing for your entertainment. The sparrow in the hedge is not making random noise. Each voice carries purpose shaped by millions of years of evolution, and perhaps that is what makes those summer mornings so special. While cities sleep and curtains remain closed, a hidden world awakens. Birds greet the day with songs that existed long before roads, streetlights, and alarm clocks. They participate in rituals older than human history itself. For a brief window each morning, the natural world becomes especially easy to hear. The air is cool. The light is soft. The noise of human activity has not yet taken over. The birds seize that moment because it offers them the best chance to be heard, and maybe there is something meaningful in that. The loudest part of a bird's day happens not in the middle of chaos, but in the quiet moments before the world becomes busy. Their songs remind us that some of nature's most important conversations occur when everything else is still. So the next time a summer bird wakes you before sunrise, do not think of it as noise outside your window. Think of it as an invitation. A reminder that while most of the world is asleep, an ancient chorus is unfolding just beyond the glass, and for a few precious minutes you are allowed to listen in.